What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing daily races around St. Croix for Daily Race B, which honestly was a huge surprise to me because St. Croix has always been a track that I'd never really liked just because there's so many different layouts and it's just so difficult to get each and every layout down, and on top of that the laps are very long. So this actually has been the best daily race of the week in my opinion. I think Daily Race B outperformed Daily Race C and Daily Race A. You guys are gonna see right now why I think this is actually the best daily race, and let's jump right into it. Yes, so we are here, guys, starting off in P5 in the American account. Decided to go with the Toyota Supra because in my opinion it's just the best handling car for this racetrack. But we get our 3, 2, 1 and away we go as we start right behind the two Americans of Nth Proxy and Mayor, and then we got a Canadian of Superior in a second, and we got the Brazilian of Coa Dudu in first place. So spotting our braking point, heading into turn number 1, making sure we go into it without any incidents, as the first time that I did do this race around here, I went straight into the wall and just immediately took ourselves out. So didn't want to do the same mistake twice, and luckily for us we were able to navigate our way at least through the first sector nice and easy and without any mistakes. So catching up a little bit to Nth Proxy into some of the corners, you can see that first position of Dudu or Dada, I don't know which way to say it, but if I'm saying it incorrectly, please let me know. But the Brazilian, we'll just go with that, goes a little bit wide off of the corner, and he lost a lot of time. But heading into this long left-hander into this, or down the straight, we were able to go into the inside of Nth Proxy, take a tiny little peek on the inside of the Atenta, but just could not do anything here as he was able to get a better exit than us. And he keeps it on the inside here, but into the corner we get a little tap from behind from Will, and we lose the back end a tad bit, and that loses our positioning to try to go for that 4th place position. So not the best spot to get hit from behind, but at least we're able to manage ourselves here and stay in the 5th place position. And not only that, we're still kind of in this hunt here for at least a top 3, maybe even top 2, I don't know, because the top 2 are starting to fight a little bit here heading into the final parts of the lap. So a very fun, interesting racetrack, a lot of corners, but once you get it down, it's a very fast, flowy racetrack with a couple of hairpins, but nothing too crazy where you have to slow down a lot, and it just leads to a lot of exciting, fun racing. But into the final corner we get a yellow flag, and you can see it's the Brazilian of Dudu as he goes a tad bit wide, clips the grass, and just loses it heading into the final corner. Had nowhere to go except into the barrier, and there you go. Basically his race is over. Not going to be able to get that first place position, and his misfortune turns into our fortune, and we are able to go from P5 up to P4 after just 1 lap. So 2 laps to go here. Again, this was a sprint race, wasn't one of these long races like we usually have on Daily Race C. And again, this is, in my opinion, the perfect amount of time that you need for this race, because I think if it was about 4 laps or 5 laps for this race, it would have dragged out a tad bit too long, and everybody would have been able to get spread apart, and it just wouldn't lead to as much close racing than with 3 laps. So I think 3 laps was the sweet spot, and you guys are going to see right here why. But let's come out of the left-hander. You can see 2nd place loses the back end, and also basically does what Dudu did on the first lap, and he lost the back end, goes into the inside, and that has allowed Nth Proxy to catch up to his rear and try to take a little peek onto the inside heading to the left-hander, but sneaks it onto the inside. I think there was a little bit of contact there. If there wasn't, there definitely was right now, as Mayor bounces off the barrier and smashed right into Nth Proxy, but into the corner. Nth Proxy, I believe, just slammed on the brakes a tad bit too late, took evasive action, and good on him. He was able to avoid making contact with Mayor, but basically took himself out of contention for this podium, and he falls all the way back down into P-Steve. So very weird race. It seems like anytime someone is battling for the lead or going for a podium, they end up taking themselves out. So this is not a good curse for us, because we are right now in the podium, so we don't want to get ourselves into any type of trouble here. We just want to see if we can catch up to Mayor and maybe close the gap here and finish this race off in 2nd. as we are starting to get a little bit of pressure from Will behind us. So back onto the final sector here, spotting our braking point, which is right after the 100-meter board. Get onto the brakes nice and hard, but then just let it coast into this corner. We actually get a little bit too much rotation and get a corner cut penalty coming off the corner. So not a good final corner, and we get a little bit of a tap from Will. So Will is very happy right here, because he knows if he stays right behind us, he's going to be able to get around us once we hit the penalty zone. As you can see, he's taking a little peek onto the inside, decides to back out there, but heading to this right-hander, he sneaks it right in there, make a little bit of contact with us. We make contact back again with him, and he was able to just get the momentum off of the corner, and he was able to gain that third place position away from us. And this is starting to look a little bit worrying for me, because we might not be able to finish this race in the podium. So like I said, the curse continues. If you're fighting for first or even for a podium, honestly, you just end up making a mistake where you take yourself out of contention for the podium, for the win. And that is exactly what we did here, as we are still going to have to serve our penalty now, as Will almost loses it heading to the left-hander, but luckily he was able to get it all wound up and gain control back of that Supra. So into the right-hander, leading us into the bridge and onto what is basically the penalty zone and our demise here. We serve our 1 second penalty. Keep an eye on what's going on behind us, as there was another car that had a serve penalty. Not sure if it was the 5th place driver or the 6th place driver, but someone had a serve penalty. But you can see right here that Apex is starting to catch up here, as he has closed the gap from about what I believe was the second down to 6-7 tenths of a second. But going into the final corner, he's just going to run out of time, and we are going to be able to come home with a P4. Wasn't able to get that sweet podium, but maybe we can get it on the second race. Now, as we jump into our second race, I actually decided to go back onto the time trial and help improve our lap here. So we had a 207.6, I believe, on the first race. On this one, we were able to get our time up to a 207.1. So it gets us right into second place, and we can actually probably contend for a win here if we can stay with Superior. And so we got our 3-2-1. Away we go once again, heading into turn number 1, spotting our braking point. And we actually get a really good corner on Superior end and close the gap just a tad bit. We're able to stay into the slipstream, but that might be our downfall here, heading into this fast, windy first sector here. So Dirty Air not being too good on us, but it looked like Superior end had a really bad corner and was docked half a second for corner cutting. And as we get a really great run to the inside of him, we just get a little bit of wheel spin on the exit, and he was able to hold us off for that first place position. So the GTR looking like it's struggling a little bit here, as it should have a good straight line pace, but on the corner it looked like it was struggling a little bit, as we give him a little bit of a bump from behind to see if we can help push him up. But into the left-hander, you can see that Mayer wanted to get that first place position, or the second place position, more than us. Goes into the outside, and it's now 3 wide into the right-hander, leading us into the bridge. We back out of the move, since we didn't want to be caught on the outside. That could have been very detrimental, as we could have been pushed into the barrier, and you can see that Superior had a service penalty. But back into the 3 wide action, we fall right behind Nth and Will. Didn't want to get stuck in the middle, as Will goes for a little lunge onto the inside of Mayer. Get a great exit. We are able to regain that third place position away from Nth Proxy, and the drama is not over yet. As you can see, Will is trying to find his way around Mayer, but just not finding success here as we head into the right-hander. So into this right-hander, we brake where we were supposed to, but for some reason it looked like Will braked a tad bit early. Not sure if Mayer just braked early and Will had to take evasive action, but we had to swerve it onto the inside to avoid making contact with Will. And we made a little bit of contact with his side. We're trying to give him back the position, but he just didn't have the momentum. But into this final corner, you can see that it is 3 wide right behind us. And that is not a sight that you want to see going into that corner. But somehow they were able to survive, and we weren't able to pull away, which is a little bit sad, in my opinion, because we should have been able to pull away if cars are going 3 wide into a blinding fast corner. But yeah, we weren't able to really make any gap, and Will is now all over our rear as he is taking a little peek onto the inside. Decides to think twice about it and follow us back down this long straight. So down a long straight, not sure what exactly Will's game plan is here, as he is trying to bump us, but he decides to go into the inside, tries to take a look into this corner. We give him the position, as we did kind of bumping him out for his position in the first place. So yeah, getting back to position, he is now up into P2, and at this point didn't want to fight with him. We have about a lap and a half left. I know we're faster than Mayor, so if we can work with Will here, we can possibly catch up to Mayor, but it all depends on what Nth Proxy wants to do here, as he is now starting to join in on this battle. So passing the bridge, leading us into the hairpin, we take a little peek onto the radar, just making sure that Nth Proxy wasn't going to go for a move into there, and luckily he just kept a single file, and we are now still working here with Will to try to see if we can catch up to Mayor, but not looking too promising right here, since it's still about 1.3 seconds of a gap away from us and first. So not sure how long we'll be working with Will. If we see that we're not catching up at all, we're just going to attempt to go for an overtake somewhere midway through the corner or into the lap, as we make some brutal contact with this rear, just missed our braking point, and luckily we did not take out Will, but that did hurt him off of the corner, and basically just gave the win to Mayor, as he is just still pulling away tremendously, leading us down to the final lap. So off of turn number 1, felt very stupid because we made contact with Will, especially because it was my fault. Just ran to the back of him into the final corner, but we now are in race mode. We know we're not going to get that first place position, but we could still get this second, so we're just going to stay with Will, look for an opportunity to go for an overtake, and see if we can capitalize on the opportunity, as I think it's going to be off of at the end of this long straight. So we get a pretty good decent exit off of the left-hander, and we're just following Will here, staying in the slipstream, seeing if we can utilize the slipstream, just take full advantage of it. And there we go, guys, we are gaining, going straight into the inside, side by side into the long left-hander. We brake as late as we can, keep it onto the inside. Will has nowhere to go except into our rear, and he loses a couple positions. Him and Nth Proxy both make contact, and at this point I'm a tad bit worried because I'm not sure if Will's going to retaliate with Nth Proxy, since they both made contact off of the left. But it looks like Will just couldn't get some grip, or something happened to him where he just was unable to stay with Nth Proxy, and now we're getting a mirror full of the Atenza. So heading into the hairpin, we again take a look into the radar, and Nth Proxy was taking a little peek onto the inside, was just looking, but I think he just backed out. He was a tad bit too far back to go for the overtake, and he allowed us to take our normal racing line. So good on you, Nth Proxy, but still not over here. We still have 2 corners left and 1 possibly good overtaking zone if you can get a really great run down this short straight, and that is what exactly Nth Proxy is doing. We try to defend the inside, couldn't do it so here, but as we head into the final corner, Nth Proxy brakes very late, tries to take a lunge of the century, and he goes straight into the wall. We're gonna do a quick little cutback, and there we go, guys. P2 after starting off in P2, so we didn't gain anything or lose anything. I call that as a I guess a neutral win, but really wanted to get the win here, just could not put one together. And luckily Will was able to redeem himself and come back in 3rd place after all the times we bumped into him. So yeah, there we go, guys, a P2. So there you have it, boys. Those were my races around St. Croix for Daily Race B. How are you guys dealing with this week? In my opinion, I think Daily Race B, again, is the best daily race for the week. It just produces the right amount of action. I think the length is perfect. I only think you need about 3 laps around this racetrack to have a ton of fun. And on top of that, it's actually a really fun racetrack, especially that first sector. And if you guys really enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button. It really helps us out on the YouTube algorithm. And hit that subscribe button down below and turn that red button into a gray button. And since you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.